So what was it like coming in and playing with alumni from other schools with the Windy City All-Star Band, for the first time? These people that you didn't know, they came up in other programs. Maybe you saw them in passing at the different parades and everything, but, what was that like?
To me, it was a sensory overload. Like a kid who really loves candy and you take him to the Hershey factory. It's just like, oh my God, it's just nonstop excitement. Like I wanted to show how disciplined I was, and I wanted to show how much control and power I had because of the discipline. It was like everywhere I looked, it was competition. I wanted to be in crab mode, but I just kept looking down the line like, yep, I could take you. I could take you. You all right. You ain't on nothing. Let's go. What we playing? Neck. Oh boy, y'all for the fill it. And then everybody just cranking up. I was like, okay, y'all got a little heat. All right, time for level 2. You know what I'm saying? Then after practice, we started getting to know who was who for real. It was like we put names to faces. And, it went from rivalry to friendly competition, so it made the shit talk more of an outlet versus a spark to something else. You know what I mean? Because um, when you are not a part of the band and you stand next to the band and you hear the baritone players talking shit to each other, like you're not gonna understand if you're not a part of that culture. You know what I'm saying? And even if you are part of that culture, you think about like in the early 90s with, all the band brawls and HBCUs, that's just rivalry that hasn't become friendly. So it's like us meeting kind of squashed a lot of that, Gately chaos. You know what I mean? Gately Stadium chaos. Because if you know somebody and you've played alongside of them, and it's like, yeah, we across the field, but they're a band just like we a band. Don't be disrespectful. You can talk your shit, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to, go see them and wreck my instrument all because you couldn't, measure up on your horn, so you had to put your horn down. Like, what? That don't make any sense to me. If you got that shit to talk, keep that motherfucker up to your lips.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pardon my language. I can get a little raunchy when it comes to marching band lingo.
No, it
But
is what it is.
yeah, but that's also a part of what I felt like was the difference between a musician and a band head. A lot of people would disagree with me with that. But I feel like, yes, you can be a musician and you can be a band head. But I feel like the epitome of a band head to me is somebody who is literally in love with the culture. They're in love with the idea of always being ready with your instrument. It's a way of battle without it actually being, bloody. It was like a way of testing yourself, testing, your mind and your body simultaneously. It's like, how well can you hold it together in the midst of chaos? In the battle, there could be a lot of people around. Are you going to pay attention to what you're here to do, or, people over there recording you? And it's like, are you going to show out for the camera, or are you just going to put on a show? But that's just my mentality. And it's like, when it comes with that, there is an aspect of ignorance, right? And not ignorance is in not knowing, but ignorance is like, I know what I'm about to say is probably going to be out of pocket, but in the interest of me being better than you, what's up? You know what I'm saying? That if we was to clean up the language, like I understand that your program has a reputation that precedes itself, but that was before. This is now. You've never come up against an opponent like this. You have to pull out your A game. We're starting off with the Megazord, okay? And where you going from there? Because I got plenty more to go. Everybody can catch this thunder. If you stand in front of my bill, you have a death wish. You know what I'm saying? If we were to make it a movie dialogue kind of thing, it's like that's what. If you know anything about band culture, that's what all that shit talk means. It's either